It's been 1 week since the fateful day when Ida was kidnapped and 6 days from the day she was saved by the man who claimed that he loved her. Not just his words, but his actions proved again and again that he truly loves her. Even though she is back from Newark, the nightmares that the town gave her are still haunting her dreams. She is still sharing a room with Leo, the man who always gives her flutters, and the man who is her strength and courage. He soothes her fears when she is scared. He sits with her when she can't fall asleep after a nightmare. And that is every night. And during that time, they speak. They speak about their likes and dislikes, their ambition and their struggles. Now they both know everything there is to know about one another. Morning, beautiful. Leo kissed her cheek. She gave him a small smile in return. She is sitting cross-legged on the bed while he is getting ready for work. He stayed with her for the last week and ignored his work and everything else. But today he had to go. Being his assistant, she knows how important it is for him to go today. His body is a work of art, all hard muscle and no fat. She caressed him with her eyes, taking him in. His back is facing her. His black slacks are loosely hanging over his hips while he is rubbing excess moisture off his hair. As if he sensed her eyes on him, he turned his head to look at her. "Like what you see, baby doll?" he asked with mirth. She blushed and averted her gaze. "Can I come too?" she asked softly. She doesn't want to stay here alone. He arranged guards outside the building, but she is still uncomfortable being around strangers. She picked up the invisible lint on the t-shirt she was wearing. It's his t-shirt, and she is wearing just his t-shirt, leaving her legs bare. She didn't notice him coming closer to her until he lifted her chin up so that she was looking at him. "I would love to have you around while I work." "But baby, are you sure? You know Kevin is now working there, and you might stumble into him at some point. Can you handle being around him?" he asked softly. The concern is evident in his voice and face. This is something she loves about him. He is so caring and protective. She trusts him with her life and recently realized that she is in love with him. More than she has ever loved anyone in her life. More than herself. She sat up on her knees, forcing him to stand up to his full height. She wrapped her hands around his neck. He wrapped his arms around her waist. "When I have you around, I don't have to worry about anyone or anything. You are my shield, which I never thought I needed, and I am immensely grateful for being blessed with. I don't want to stay here without you, Leo. Please let me come. I have seen people worse than Kevin. He might annoy me the most, but he will not dare to touch me again. He knows very well that you would kill him if he did. Let me come with you," she asked softly. He tucked a piece of her hair behind her ear. He noticed that she changed. The way she speaks, her body language, and the depth with which she started seeing the world has changed. She is not so naive anymore, and she is scared of everyone around her. But in this 1 week, she learned to hide her fear well. "I am really proud of you, baby doll," he praised her softly. She is recovering better than he thought she would. She is stronger than she seems to be. He also noticed the way how comfortable she was with him. She is no longer looking at her boss, but as something more. Gently, he leaned closer to her, giving her time to pull away. But to his surprise, she erased the remaining gap and kissed him tentatively. A soft press of her lips over his. She stayed there for a moment before pulling back a little. "Go and get ready. I will wait for you downstairs," he said softly. In the Hamilton group, Kevin is not very happy. His job is an entry-level job to begin with. He started working for a week in the hopes that he might be able to pursue Ida again. But to his frustration, he learned that she was on leave. He stopped by her apartment, but she was not there. "Master Kevin, the boss wanted you to go through these files today. He wanted you to get to know the details of the projects we are dealing with now." Mark placed the files in front of Kevin and left. Kevin pushed the files away with annoyance. Just then, he saw Ida through the glass walls of his small cabin. She is wearing a black dress that hugs her body and reaches past her knees. She looks hot and professional at the same time. He ignored the files on the floor and rushed out to speak with her. "Ida," he called out for her. She froze. He saw how stiff she became. Slowly, she turned to face him with a blank expression. "Good morning, Mr. Kevin. Is there anything I can help you with?" Her tone is crisp and detached. as if she is speaking with a stranger. She is already on edge. It's been more than an hour since she has last seen Leo, and her strength is crumbling under the weight of her fear. Surrounded by so many people at once is making her anxious and scared. After her kidnapping, she is scared of crowds and people in general. She knows most of them by their names. But that anxiety refused to leave her, no matter how many times she tried to assure herself that she was safe. So far, only Leo could make her feel safe, and Kevin is only making it worse. She knows what he is capable of, and that's not helping her case either. Kevin is not pleased to see her acting as if they are strangers. He frowned and looked around them. There are small cubicles in the open hallway, and so many people are working in those cubicles. Almost everyone is looking at them. He doesn't want to mess this up like he did in her apartment a couple of weeks ago. I have some doubts about the files that Mark gave me to study. Can you come and explain them to me?" he asked politely. Ida is not fooled by his sudden impeccable manners. She had first-hand experience of what kind of a person he was. She found Mark on the same floor. "Mark," she called for her coworker. Mark approached them with a smile. "Yes, ma'am." He bowed dramatically. She would have laughed at his antiques earlier, but now her anxiety is building, and she wants to run and hide somewhere before she breaks down and makes a fool of herself. "Mr. Kevin needs some help. Please help him. I have some work." With that, she turned and walked away, not bothering to wait for Mike to agree. In Newark. "I can't believe that he just left. Why did he come? And where did he go?" Clovia is upset. She wanted Black, but she found out that he left. Celine is listening to her daughter's angry ranting with a thoughtful look. It's been going on for 3 days now. No matter how much Clovia tried, no one knew anything about Black. Even Walter refused to share details about him. Which is strange. As strange as Ida's disappearance. Celine tried to inquire about Ida too. But no one in the entire Giovanni mansion knows anything about her. None of them heard that name either. Even Tony couldn't find her in the capital city. "First, we have to find out who the man behind the mask is. Only then will you be able to do something," she advised her daughter. Clovia gave her mom an exaggerated sign. "How?" "No one knows anything about him. At this point, I am not sure if grandfather knows anything either," she pointed out. Celine's mind is swimming with questions about Ida. Clovia's non-stop nagging is not helping her either. Her thoughts might have overlapped, but suddenly a thought stuck in her mind. "Did you notice something?" Celine asked her daughter. Clovia sighed. "I don't want to notice anything and anyone but Black," she muttered. Suddenly, Celine started laughing. "Exactly," she exclaimed excitedly, much to Clovia's confusion. "What?" she asked while eyeing her mother as if she lost her mind. "Black came to Newark when Ida was here, and he disappeared immediately after she did. If my guess is correct, you can find him if you can find Ida. There is definitely some connection between these two," she said, cracking this mystery. Clovia perked up. "Right, so Ida holds all the answers. It's time to visit my stepsister," Clovia said with a vicious smile. Celine is anxious. She wants to get rid of Ida as soon as possible. But she escaped again and again. "Tony was an idiot. I will not leave you alive. I thought I killed your mother. But looks like she escaped and gave birth to you. But you, I will not leave you alive. You have to die," she thought with malice. In the capital city, Leo has been busy from the moment he walked into his cabin. Back-to-back meetings and some other work made him busy. But he kept checking on Ida every now and then. But this particular meeting ran longer than 2 hours, so he didn't get a chance to check on her. Mark accompanied him, and she was in the production department. He knows how she gets anxious when she gets surrounded by so many people. So he was surprised to see that she was not near her desk. "Mike, give these files to Kevin and see where Ida is," he instructed his assistant before walking inside his cabin. On the other hand, Ida is losing it to her fear. She tried her best to not get panicked. She madly dashed in the general direction of Leo's cabin. She is not sure if he is back from his meeting or not, but she is losing it. She needs his comfort and warmth to feel safe. She is scared that someone might jump in front of her and take her away again. She all but ran inside Leo's cabin. When she saw him behind his desk, she sighed with relief. She moved to the other side of his desk and sat on his lap before hugging him tightly. "Baby doll? Are you okay?" he asked her with concern. He knows that she developed a fear of being abducted again because of what happened last week, but she is handling this better than most. She is breathing rapidly and is holding him tightly. "I will be fine now," she whispered. He rubbed circles on her back. "I feel so used, you know," he joked, trying to ease her mind of things. It worked. She pulled away slightly and looked at him with a frown. "Used?" she asked cutely. He nodded innocently. She gave him a cute but mischievous smile. Then what do you think about this?" she whispered before erasing the distance between their lips and kissing him softly. She moved her lips over his, teasing him. He nipped her lower lip, making her yelp and giggling with mirth. Her sweet laughter filled her cabin. "Then I would say, use me properly and completely," he spoke over her lips. She blushed, understanding his meaning. This time he kissed her. He moved his lips over hers and pushed his tongue inside her mouth, teasing and tasting her. She buried her hands in his hair and moaned into his mouth. Her sweet sounds made him hard. As if his hands have a mind of their own, he caressed the dips and valleys of her body. "Leo," she whispered his name that came out as a moan. He kissed her again, nipping, sucking, and licking her lips and tongue. He let go of her lips and peppered kisses all over her face and neck. Only him. She wants to feel him everywhere. She wants to bathe in his scent. "Take me, Leo," she begged him. He pulled away from her and looked at her with surprise. He wanted to see if she meant what she asked. "Please," she begged him again. That made him growl with possessiveness. She is drowned in his kisses and her body is hot. She forgot everything but him and the way he was making her feel. "You are so perfect, baby doll, as if you were made just for me." In the Hamilton group, Kevin is angry. The way Ida brushed him off bluntly in front of everyone was so embarrassing, and her attitude was unlike any other time he saw in her. She used to be so soft-spoken and gentle, but not anymore. Now she is blunt and very rude. She ignored him as if he was nothing. How can she forget our moments together? We had something special. I slept with Claire behind her back, yes. But she cannot just move on to someone else and ignore me like this. I have to do something, he thought angrily. In the capital, Claire is not pleased with the way Kevin is ignoring her. That Ida is out of my way now. Kevin has to come back to me, she thought angrily. She is pacing the length of her bedroom in her apartment. She heard the sound of the main door opening. Her face lit up with excitement. It must be Kevin. Only he has the keys apart from me, she thought. She rushed out of her bedroom and froze with shock when she saw a bunch of strangers standing in her living room. "Who are you? How did you even get inside my apartment?" she demanded angrily. The one in the middle smirked. "Hello, my name is Sid. I came here to kidnap you," Sid said as a matter of fact. Claire's face turned pale when she heard this. She took a step back on instinct. "What do you mean by that? I will call the cops on you now." She threatened and started searching for her mobile. Sid sighed impatiently. He doesn't have much time to waste on this woman. He was told to kidnap her and finish her off for upsetting Black, and he is eager to please his idol. "Sorry, babe. I can't wait until you find your phone and then call the cops. I am in a bit of a hurry now." With that said, he sprayed chloroform on her face. He and his men closed their noses with a mask. Claire became unconscious, and they carried her away from there. As the building was one of the many Hamilton properties, it was easy for them to kidnap her. In the Hamilton group, Kevin saw Ida getting inside an elevator. Immediately, he rushed to catch up with her. She was the only one inside the elevator, so it worked out in his favor. Just a second before the elevator doors could close shut, Kevin walked inside. When she saw him, she tried to get out of the car, but blocked her path and pushed the stop button so that he could stop the elevator midway. "What are you doing?" she cried as panic began to bubble in her stomach. He closed the distance between them and trapped her between his arms. "Ida, darling, what happened to you? Why are you treating me like I am nothing to you? You cannot discard me for just one single mistake. Does the last 2 years of our relationship mean nothing to you?" he demanded with anger and frustration. Despite his affair with Claire, he still loves Ida very much, and she is not understanding him at all. Ida is scared. She doesn't want him anywhere near her. She is scared of being surrounded by people. That's why she is using the private elevator, which is meant for only Leo. She tried to push him away with all her might, but he didn't budge. She tried to know him between his legs, but he pulled her thighs apart and pushed his thigh between hers. She felt like he was violating her. The familiar itching on her skin started along with fear. He is looking more like Tony at that moment. Her fear intensified, but he ignored it. He is used to her odd behavior when he tries to get intimate. But he saw that she didn't have any problem when his uncle touched her, so leaned closer and tried to kiss her lips. But she moved her head to a side, and he ended up kissing her cheek instead. I don't know that you like older guys. Why? Because he is more experienced than I am? Don't worry, darling, I can make you scream louder than he does, he whispered, oblivious to her discomfort and fear. Ida started feeling dizzy, and her eyes became wet with tears. I love Leo. He is not going to like this, she threatened and willed herself not to shed tears on his account. Kevin stiffened at her confession. In the last 2 years, she never once confessed her love for Kevin. It was always him who used to tell the 3-letter word. He thought she was shy. But hearing the same words now, and that too for someone else, made him feel jealous. I was running after you like a dog and seamlessly begged you every day for one date. But you love my uncle? Why? Is it his money? How did you even manage to catch his attention so fast? Looks like Claire is right about you. You are not as innocent as you seem to be, he sneered. When Ida heard Claire's name, she became stiff. Everything Claire did so far to destroy her life flashed in her mind. First, she had an affair with Kevin behind her back. Then she intentionally drugged her and sent her into a random room. Ida was lucky that it turned out to be Leo's room. Ida could forgive all these, but the last stunt she pulled can never be forgiven and forgotten. Ida saw red. She had enough of Kevin and Claire. She screamed at the top of her lungs and pushed Kevin away with every last ounce of energy she could muster. Kevin was not expecting that. He stumbled and fell down on the elevator floor. Ida immediately pressed the alarm button to alert the security. You and Claire played too much with my life. I gave you a chance, but you ruined it. You disregarded my emotions and cheated on me with her. Now you came back and dared to demand that I get back with you? You are delusional. If you dared to touch me again, then you are going to regret it, she snapped with so much anger and resentment toward him and Claire. There was a point when these two people used to be like her family. But they stabbed her in such a way that she is still reeling with the after effects of the torments they have put her through. Kevin is shocked into speechlessness. At that moment, she looked so fearless and almost untouchable. Even he is scared to open his mouth again. Just then, the elevator doors opened and she stormed out. A group of security guards were standing outside. She ignored them all and rushed out. They all looked at Kevin, who was sitting on the floor with a pale face. Master Kevin, are you all right? One of the security guards asked him out of concern. They assumed that Kevin was scared because he got stuck in the elevator. Ida is holding the ceramic wash basin on either side. Her grip is so tight that her knuckles turned white. The incident with Kevin just now is the slap she needs to wake up. She cannot allow them to play with her life like this. She gave them her loyalty, but they rewarded her with their betrayal. They have taken her for granted. Kevin is so shameless and disgusting that he sends his girlfriend to another man's room so that he can get together with another woman. Claire is so bitter and heartless that she helps someone to kidnap her, and that would have cost Ida everything if not for Leo. When Kevin trapped her in the elevator, fear engulfed her until she started feeling lightheaded. But when he mentioned Claire, it's like the reality of her life stuck like lightning. She no longer holds the same affection for Claire or Kevin. They don't deserve her. When that fact sank into her head, it gave her clarity. I don't know what went wrong with you, Claire. I don't know why you became so jealous and bitter towards me, but I can never forgive what you did. Now I will never allow anyone to push me around like that, she said out loud with determination. In the capital, Clovia wheeled her luggage outside the airport. She flagged a taxi and gave the address of a 7-star hotel. Then she dialed a number, and the other person picked up the call after the 4th ring. Clovia, are you in Capital? Tony's voice rang from the other end. After what happened with Ida, he escaped from Newark to the capital city. mostly for Ida. She must have escaped from him, but he knows she will come back here no matter what. Yes, I am going to the hotel now. Meet me there with details of Ida and Leo Hamilton. I need to know what is going on between Ida and the Hamilton heir. He is a powerful man. I don't know how he fell for her. And most importantly, I have a suspicion that maybe Leo Hamilton knows something about Black. It just cannot be a complete coincidence that he came to Newark when Ida was with you. I think Leo Hamilton must have sent him. Keep a close watch on Mr. Hamilton, she told him. Tony is already watching him closely, but he is not authorized to enter either his company or inside his home. So he needs someone from inside the company, and who can be bought with money. They can serve as his eyes and ears inside the company. I have to. We will discuss this further when we meet, he told her. She hummed her agreement. Tony is wanted back in Newark, so it's not safe to speak on the phone for much longer. They disconnected the call after that. On the other hand, Leo noticed how quiet Ida became. She didn't say a word in their entire car journey either. It's as if she is lost in her thoughts. That evening, after they got back home, he found her on their room balcony, looking at the green lawn outside. She changed into one of his t-shirts, leaving her legs bare. He approached her from behind and wrapped his hands around her. She leaned back into his body and sighed with contentment. "What is bothering you, baby doll? You look troubled," he inquired softly. She didn't reply immediately. She was quiet for a moment before speaking. "I don't know why certain people come into our lives pretending as if they care. When we begin to trust them, they will show their true colors and destroy our lives. When we start to feel suffocated by the pain of their betrayal, when life feels like a burden, someone else would come and fix the shattered pieces back together. Life is funny and unexpected, isn't it, Leo?" she whispered. He understood that she was speaking about them. "What made you rethink your past choices? Did something happen? Did anyone bother you?" he asked with a concerned frown. He can feel the bitterness in her words. He can understand that something must have triggered it. Ida smiled at his questions. Here is the man whom she just met a month ago, and he can easily read between her words and can understand even things that she is not speaking out loud. She turned in his arms and wrapped her hands around his neck. "You are my lucky charm, do you know that?" she spoke softly with a grin. He chuckled at her comment. He noticed that she was not answering his question. He decided not to press. He has his ways to find out everything. "What made you think that?" he played along. Her grin became a soft smile. Her eyes filled with love. "Because you always saved me from everyone and everything. I was not so lucky before you came into my life. I had to do everything on my own. But now I don't have to ask you anything. You will do it before I realize what I need. When I was saving Grace, I didn't know that I was actually saving myself in the process. When Claire sent me into your room that night, I never thought that it would become the best night of my life. I met you that night." "That's the best part," she spoke, feeling emotional. He cupped her cheeks tenderly. "Baby doll, I started loving you from the moment you kissed me that night. I just don't want to acknowledge it then. I don't know what is making you so sad, but I will find it out and take care of it for you. I hate seeing you this sad," he whispered with love. She is moved by his words. She leaned closer and kissed him deeply. "What? Is Tony here in the capital? Are you sure, Sean?" Leo asked Sean with a frown. Sean, who was hunting Tony in Newark, recently learned about this. "Yes, I am. That's not all. I also found out that he has a very good relationship with Walter's daughter, Celine. He called her 20 times before he kidnapped Ida, and she called him 15 times. There are too many calls to ignore them as a coincidence. Isn't it?" Sean asked. Leo's mind is spinning with the possibility of what this means. Sean is not done. He has something big to share. "The most important thing I found out about Celine Wilson is she is Richard Wilson's wife. The same Richard Wilson, who is Ida's father," he shared. Everything started to make sense to Leo now. As the mysterious Black Star, he knows about Clovia and Celine. He saw Celine a few times, but never had the interest to speak with her. He is shocked to find out that Richard is her husband. "I see. So it was Celine who was behind Tony, and the accident was her doing as well. But why is she hell-bent on killing Ida? There must be a reason. Richard was in love with Sarah. After Sarah disappeared, he married Celine, But Sarah was alive and even gave birth to a daughter, who is Ida. But Sarah hid Ida's identity for this long. Is it possible that Sarah knows about this situation? Is it Celine who tried to kill Sarah? But why? Leo thought out loud. Sean is quiet. So many questions with little to no answers. Ida's mother is a mystery, he muttered. Leo frowned. Sean, find out about Sarah. The more details we learn about her, the more we will be prepared to face the threats against Ida in the future. It's not as simple as it looks. Something is happening around Ida. I want to know what it is. I want to know what happened to Sarah after she gave birth to Ida. What forced her to leave her newborn like that? Start inquiring about the high school Sarah studied in. It's the same school where she met Richard. Sarah's parents, find out if they are alive. They might know something about all of this. Use all your resources, Sean. I want it to be done as fast as you can, he instructed. Got it, boss, Sean replied before disconnecting the call. Leo leaned back in his chair, lost in his thoughts when a knock sounded on his cabin door. Come in. His voice rang loudly and clearly. Mike walked inside and closed the door after him. President Hamilton, I found out what happened yesterday with Ida, just like you wanted me to. Mike spoke about the elevator incident where Ida and Kevin were stuck for a few minutes. Leo's jaw became tight with anger. I warned Kevin not to go anywhere near Ida again, but it looks like he did not understand. It's time to teach him a very good lesson about the consequences of touching what's mine. I was going easy on him until now, but he proved to be an asshole along with being stupid, he thought to himself with anger. Tell him that I want to speak with him about something. Send him to the gym downstairs, and make sure the gym is empty, he instructed Mike. Mike is puzzled. He did not understand why his boss wanted to meet Master Kevin in the gym, but he doesn't dare to question his boss, so he nodded before leaving quietly. On the other hand, Clovia met Tony in the 7-star hotel where she was staying. These are some pictures of Ida Wilson which we took before we kidnapped her. Tony handed over the photographs of Ida. All of them were taken secretly, so she is not looking at the camera in any of the pictures. Some of them are her single pictures, and a few of them are her with some other people. One picture is taken when she is with Leo Hamilton. He is looking at her while she is looking at her phone. The way he is looking at her speaks volumes about his feelings for her. Leo Hamilton, the most influential businessman in the capital, and one of the richest and most powerful men in the world. He is named as the most eligible bachelor more than once. He has connections beyond our knowledge and money that is enough for even his great-grandchildren. I think he is the person who did something behind the scenes to save Ida from me. He is also the one who saved her from that accident. Tony explained to Clovia when he noticed her looking at him with interest. Clovia is jealous. Ida looks much more beautiful than her mother Sarah. Clovia saw Sarah's pictures once. Sarah was a beauty, but her daughter is drop-dead gorgeous and effortlessly sexy. And most importantly, she caught the attention of a rich, young, and very powerful man. Leo Hamilton is very handsome. Even Clovia is taken by his looks. Lucky bitch. I wonder how she even managed to get his attention. She wrapped you around her little finger and you are salivating for her like a dog. Clovia muttered with jealousy. Tony shorted sarcastically. He can see green fumes coming from her ears. If you are as beautiful as she is, then you could have easily caught the attention of Black Star. You never had to run after him desperately. He would have come after you instead. You cannot deny that she is a beauty, he pointed out. Clovia glared at him. She knows he is right, but the urge to stab his eye sockets is overwhelming. But she controlled the urge, like she needs his help to find out who Black is. If you manage to kidnap her again, then she is all yours. You can do whatever you want with her and no one will stop you this time. But first, let's find out who Black Star actually is. Follow Ida. We might find out something about him. I am sure he must be the person who saved Ida from you. And I guess it's for Leo Hamilton. You already know how powerful the Hamiltons are. Leo Hamilton must have hired Black to save Ida. Clovia shared her thoughts. Tony gave her a thoughtful look before nodding his head. Kevin found his uncle Leo in the gym punching the sandbag. He is shirtless and his sweat shorts are loosely hanging around his hips. His 8-pack abs and toned physique are on display. Kevin, on the other hand, is slim but not toned. He is too lazy to work out a sweat to tone his body. "Uncle, did you want something to talk to me?" Kevin asked his uncle politely with a hint of fear and anger. He is scared of Leo, but also jealous that Ida chose his uncle over him. Leo caught the sandbag with his gloved hands. "Go and change into something comfortable," Leo instructed. He is not waiting for Kevin's reply. It's a command that Kevin has to follow. Leo started punching the sandbag again. Kevin is confused but doesn't say a word in protest. He is too scared to talk back to his uncle. Quickly, he did what he was asked to do. He walked back into the gym area again. He is scared. Did he find out about the incident with Ida yesterday? He wondered. "Uncle." Before Kevin could speak a word, Leo motioned for Kevin to come inside the boxing ring. Hesitantly, Kevin walked inside the ring. Once Kevin is inside, Leo ignores the sandbag and stands opposite his nephew. "Come on, punch me," Leo encouraged Kevin. Kevin is shocked by this request. "Uncle, how can I do that to you?" he asked, pretending as if he cared. Secretly, he wanted to hurt Leo for snatching Ida from him. Leo smirked. "No need to pretend as if you respect your elders, Kevin. I know you are angry and would have thrown a tantrum in front of your mother. I know you are sore about the fact that I claimed Ida as mine. You had your chance for 2 years, and she was even ready to marry you. But you being you ruined your chance. Now she is mine. Mind, body, and soul. I already warned you not to touch her, but you didn't listen. You still cornered her yesterday. I want to rip it into shreds now. But I am giving you a fair chance. I am giving you 1 minute. In 1 minute, I will not hit you. If you manage to land a punch on me, then I will let you go now. But if you failed, then you would be sorry for touching Ida again." "Your 1 minute begins now," he said with a smirk. The heady feeling when he gets inside the boxing ring is buzzing in his veins. He is looking forward to beating Kevin into a pulp. Kevin glared at Leo. He is pissed, even though he is hesitant, thinking that it must be a trick. But he still raised his hand and tried to punch Leo, but the latter moved away with ease. After that, Kevin rained punches and even tried to kick Leo. But the latter is a skilled fighter and as agile and fast as a cheetah. He ducked, sidestepped, and moved back and away from Kevin's clumsy punches and kicks. After 1 minute, Kevin is tired but fails to even touch Leo. "Time's up, my turn," Leo announced coldly before he landed a solid punch on Kevin's face. Kevin groaned with pain and moved a few steps backward by the impact of the punch. He is bleeding and his cheek starts to swell, but that's the beginning of his punishment. Soon Leo unleashed his cold fury on Kevin. He punched the arrogance out of his nephew. By the time Leo is done, Kevin is barely moving, but he is still living and breathing. "Mike," Leo called his assistant, who materialized in a minute as if he was waiting. Leo discarded his bloody gloves and regally walked out of the boxing ring as if he owned it, and he did. "Throw him in a hospital and make sure that he lives. Inform my sister-in-law that we sent her son abroad for some work, and he will be back in a couple of months," he instructed Mike. Mike's eyes bulged out of their sockets when he saw Kevin's condition. He is sure that his boss must have broken more than one bone in his nephew's body. "If this is how one will be punished for touching his beloved, then I will make sure to stand 2 feet away from Ida at all times," he thought with horror. On the other hand, Ida was waiting for Leo when he came back from the gym. He is freshly showered and dressed in his 5-piece suit. Looking at his appearance, no one would suspect about what he just did. "Good afternoon, baby doll." He pulled her into his arms the moment he saw her. Willingly, she melted into his arms. "Where were you?" she inquired curiously. He hesitated. He doesn't want to tell her about Kevin, so he dodged her question. "Had something to take care of her," he replied vaguely. She pulled back and gave him an amused look. "Something or someone?" she inquired with mirth. He looked at her intently. He can see that somehow she already knew about where he was. "What do you think?" He asked a question of his own, not directly giving her a reply. Ida shook her head at his antiques. She can understand that he is intentionally avoiding her questions. So she decided to drop the hide-and-seek game she started. "Is he alive?" She came directly to the point. He is not at all surprised. A hint of jealousy swelled in his heart. He is also curious about how she found out about this. He leaned closer to her and nuzzled her neck, which earned him a giggle from her. He nipped at her neck, giving in to the urge to mark her as his own. "He will survive," he mumbled. In a white hospital room, in a small sleepy town, Sarah opened her eyes for the first time in 20 years. She was in a coma for the last 22 years. Machines are beeping and the IV wire has been attached to her nerve for a long time now. She was in a vegetative state. The doctors were not confident that she would live. But there is one woman who stubbornly believes that Sarah will live. And her stubbornness is what kept Sarah alive, instead of giving in to the requests of the doctors and removing her from the life support system. Sarah took in the small room she was in with a blank mind. She doesn't remember anything. She only remembered giving birth to a daughter, and then nothing. "Ah!" she gasped and looked around for her baby. Her hands and legs are numb from staying still for so long. Her gasp caught the attention of a nurse who was in the room at that time. The nurse's eyes bulged out of their sockets to see Sarah awake. "Impossible," the nurse murmured in a daze. She rushed out of the room to call for a doctor. In the capital, Clovia decided to meet Leo to find out the details of Black and come face to face with her stepsister. Clovia wanted to see how Ida would react when she found out about their father who abandoned Ida, even after finding out that she is his daughter. "Ida Wilson, bastard daughter of Richard Wilson? I don't want to see you happy. I want you to suffer. My grandfather might have given all his properties to his precious daughter Sarah, and you might be the heir to that fortune, but still you are a bastard. I will insult you and make you taste the bitterness that my mom was forced to suffer because of your mom." "Here I come, sweet sister," Clovia thought with spitefulness. "Miss Wilson, this way, please." One of the receptionists escorted Clovia to the floor where Leo's cabin is. As Clovia is a well-known model and the daughter of a reputed businessman, she was treated with respect, and her request to meet Leo was approved almost immediately. The receptionist who was escorting Clovia was giddy with happiness that she met the famous model Clovia Wilson. "Ma'am, you are so beautiful," the receptionist flattered over Clovia. Clovia smirked with indifference. She is used to this kind of compliment, and that makes her arrogant and gives a boost to her already huge ego. "Thank you," she replied with an air of arrogance. Soon the elevator stopped on the president's floor. "This way, Miss Wilson." The receptionist led Clovia out of the elevator. There are 2 desks laid on opposite sides outside Leo's cabin. This entire floor has 3 meeting halls and his cabin. Mike was sitting behind his desk, while Ida was not seen anywhere. "Mike, Miss Wilson is here to see President Hamilton," the receptionist announced. Mike looked at Clovia and looked at Leo's calendar, with a frown. As far as he could see, there was no appointment scheduled for Clovia. "Stella, President Hamilton is busy. I think Miss Wilson must have gotten confused for some other day. Today there is no appointment scheduled for her," he explained patiently. Stella became embarrassed and Clovia became angry. "You, who do you think you are? I am Clovia Wilson, daughter of Richard Wilson and a very famous model. I can easily make you lose your job in this instance. I don't take appointments of others, they take my appointments instead," she declared arrogantly. Mike has seen people more popular and nasty than Clovia. As an assistant to the famous Leo Hamilton, he came across many people, but he had never been intimidated by any one of them. Because angering his boss scares him the most. And in this situation, he is very sure that Clovia Wilson is not welcome. "You can try to do anything you want, Miss Wilson, but I cannot allow you inside now. Please leave," he spoke confidently. He knows that Leo will never remove him from his employment just because some spoiled princess demands. So he did his job. Clovia is so enraged that she stomps toward Mike's desk and raises her hand to slap him. Just then Leo's cabin door opened from the inside, and Ida came out while carrying some files. When she looked at the scene in front of her, she froze with shock. Clovia's back is facing her, and her hand is raised in a clear, aggravated gesture to hit Mike. "What is happening here?" she asked from Leo's cabin doorway. She has yet to close the door because of the scene she is witnessing. Mike looked at his coworker calmly. "Miss Wilson doesn't have an appointment with President Hamilton, but she is demanding an audience with our president," he explained. Ida is frowning now. She glared at Stella. She didn't miss the fact that their uninvited guest shared the same last name as her. Stella, if Miss Wilson doesn't have an appointment, then why did you allow her to come this far? Ida questioned Stella, who was now looking pale. All her excitement of meeting a celebrity vanished in an instant. She, Stella stuttered, but nothing coherent came out of her mouth. Ida is not pleased, just like Mike. Leo is watching everything from inside his cabin. Ida did not recognize Clovia, but he did. He had to hear that annoying voice for almost 10 years. Her voice feels like nails scratching on a hard surface. She used to pester him like an annoying fly. What is she doing here? Did she figure out that I am the Black Star? As soon as the thought crossed his mind, he pushed it away. She is arrogant and outright mean, not at all smart. But her mother is cunning and smart, he thought. Just then, Ida moved away from the doorway, and his cabin door closed shut. Leo could still hear everything, but his view was blocked. Miss Wilson, President Hamilton is busy. Please make an appointment if you wish to have an audience with him, Ida said politely, even though Clovia was being nasty and mean. That's when Clovia decided to turn around and face Ida. When Ida saw the face of their mean guest, she froze. She immediately recognized Clovia. In the small-town hospital, Sarah is confused. Nancy, what do you mean by I was in a vegetative state for 22 years? What about my baby? Where is she? Sarah demanded Nancy. Nancy is in her early 60s. She used to work in the Giovanni household as a cook for a long time. She practically raised Sarah after Mrs. Giovanni passed away unexpectedly. Then Sarah falls in love with a poor man who is no match for Giovanni's status. Sarah was afraid that her father might not approve of her lover. Nancy tried to make Sarah understand that it's good to forget that man. But Sarah was adamant. Soon they both find out that Sarah is pregnant. Nancy and Sarah became worried. One day, Sarah told Nancy that she was going to visit her lover and tell him about her pregnancy. Nancy couldn't say no. She already did everything she could, but she couldn't do anything then, so she agreed. That night, Sarah met with an accident, and everyone thought that she was dead. Even Nancy thought the same. But after 5 months, in the dead of the night, Sarah called Nancy, telling her that she was alive and someone was trying to kill her, and that's the reason she decided to hide. After that, Nancy stopped working in the Giovanni household and decided to help Sarah, who is like a daughter to her. After 3 months, Sarah gave birth to a daughter. They were not in a position to ask for help from Walter Giovanni. He would likely kill Sarah's daughter himself for ruining his reputation. He was cold-hearted. Nancy and Sarah decided to raise the baby together. But things took an ugly turn when Sarah lost too much blood during childbirth and slipped into a coma. Nancy had to choose between Sarah and her daughter, as she was not financially well off to take care of a newborn and pay for Sarah's treatment. So she chose Sarah and left the newborn in the hospital. Nancy hesitated to tell the truth to Sarah. After the day you gave birth, you started bleeding too much. You slipped into a coma because the doctors in that small hospital couldn't stop your bleeding faster. I had to take you somewhere else from that city. You know Celine was hunting for you because she started suspecting that you might be alive. I thought the baby would have a chance to survive if she stayed away from us. So I left her in the same hospital where she was born. Nancy explained with guilt. Leaving the helpless baby to her fate was the only thing Nancy regretted for 22 years. But she couldn't do anything about it. She is old and is working as a cook in a small dine-in. Her pay is barely enough to pay Sarah's hospital bill. Nancy only eats if she can get some food in her workplace. If not, she will be forced to fast that day. She is living in the hospital with Sarah. She bathes and changes her clothes in the hospital bathroom. She did everything she could to save Sarah. I am sorry, my dear. Please forgive me. I did everything I could to help you. Leaving your baby is a sin, and its weight will forever crush me, Nancy whispered with regret. Sarah was so heartbroken to hear that her daughter was left to fend for herself that she was rendered speechless until she heard Nancy's confession. Sarah trusts the older woman with her life. She knows that if there was even a small possibility of raising her daughter, she would have. Don't worry, Nancy. I am sure my daughter might have survived through all the odds. I am sure she might be out there somewhere, happy, Sarah assured the old woman, but her eyes welled up with tears. Sarah is worried about her daughter. Nancy is crying with guilt. They both consoled each other, Let's go and search for her. I named your daughter as Ida Wilson. I gave her Richard's last name. I am sure she would be as resilient as her mother, and she will be as strong-willed as her grandfather," Nancy suggested. Sarah agreed. In the Capitol, in front of Leo's cabin, Ida is frozen with shock. She remembered who Clovia was. She is the same woman whom Ida met in Newark. Throw her away. Black, I am just trying to help you. Get out. Slowly, Ida remembered everything that happened in that room after the night she was saved from Tony. She was too scared to care about anything but her safety and the mind-numbing fear. So Leo is the Black Star. There must be a reason why he wore that mask to cover his face back in Newark. What is his connection with that city and this woman? Looks like she doesn't know that Leo and Black are the same. She understood. She decided to Leo about this later. It might be the fact that she has had enough, or might be the reality that Leo will always shield her from everything and anything because she is no longer the same person. A kind of coldness and bitterness settled inside her heart against everyone whom she once used to trust and the people who threatened and hurt her in the past. She doesn't have a very high opinion regarding Clovia, and she is not scared of their guest either. Ida schooled her features before speaking. "Miss Wilson, I am sure you might have something important to discuss with Mr. Hamilton, but we have to send you back today. Please make an appointment before visiting next time." Ida spoke monotonously as if she never met this woman before, and she was a mess then. Stella gathered that she messed it up badly, so she decided to slip away before this issue blew out of proportion. Inside the cabin, Leo stood up from his chair and decided to deal with Clovia himself. He knows how nasty Clovia is and how scared Ida was when the last time they met, but he froze when Ida spoke confidently. He is amazed to hear the confidence in her tone. In the Capitol, a slow smirk spread across Clovia's lips. The smugness and the triumph in her gaze is unmissable. When Ida saw the look on Clovia's face, she became uncomfortable. Something in the look on her eyes felt off, as if she came to do something that no one was expecting from her. Inside the cabin, Leo decided to wait and see how Ida would handle this situation. He doesn't know what Clovia is up to. He thought that Clovia must have come for him. Little did he know that Clovia came to hurt Ida. Ida Wilson, personal assistant of the handsome, rich, and successful Leo Hamilton. "Nice meeting you, Ms. Wilson." Clovia extended her hand to shake with Ida. But Ida did not take the offered hand. The way Clovia stressed the word personal implies something dirty, and it did not miss Ida's notice that Clovia used her last name as if there is more to the last name than Ida knows about. "I think you should leave, Miss Wilson." Mike stepped in to shoo Clovia away. He too noticed that Clovia just crossed a line. Clovia smirked. "Mike, the loyal dog, have you ever guessed why your co-worker seems to be too close to your boss? Didn't you ever suspect that there might be more to see than what meets the eye?" Clovia tried to instigate Mark against Ida. Little did she know that Mike already knew more than anyone else in the company. Ida glared at Clovia for insulting Mike. But before she could defend her co-worker, who is now like a good friend to her, Leo's voice boomed from behind them. "Enough," Leo snapped after stepping out of his cabin. He caught everyone's attention. Clovia's breath caught in her throat and a shiver ran down her spine. Leo is tall and toned. Even the suits he wears couldn't hide the fact. His chiseled features only add to his looks. He looks no less than a Greek god himself. Even Clovia is not immune to his appeal. The male models with whom she works are no match for the man standing in front of her. Clovia gave him a coy smile, the same smile that usually makes men bend backward to please her. But it did nothing to Leo. He gave her a cold glare. "Mr. Hamilton, it's a pleasure meeting you," she purred. Ida is enraged when Clovia openly starts flirting with Leo. She never thought she was the jealous type, but now she is so angry that she wants to claw Clovia's eyeballs out. Ida moved tactically, blocking most of Leo's body from Clovia's eyes that are wondering as if she was physically touching him. Leo and Mike both noticed what Ida had done. Mike hid his chuckle with a cough, while Leo smiled with his eyes. He is looking at Ida with so much love that he doesn't even bother to acknowledge Clovia's greeting. Clovia is burning with jealousy when she sees how an enigmatic man like Leo seems to be so taken with Ida. What does she have that I don't? Let's see how this handsome multi-billionaire looks at her when he finds out that she is a bastard born out of wedlock, she thought angrily. Well, I apologize for the inconvenience I caused you guys, but I came here to meet my father's other daughter who was born to one of his many mistresses. She opened her nasty mouth to hurt Ida. She smiled happily when Leo became stiff while Ida looked confused. Enough, Leo snapped. He can see what Clovia is up to. He doesn't want anyone to insult his Ida like this, not even this good-for-nothing model. Clovia is taken aback by the harshness of his tone. She gulped with fear. What are you talking about? Ida asked. She already knows that she has a father who decided not to acknowledge her presence. She also knows that he has a family of his own. Now, after listening to Clovia's comment, and the fact that they both shared the same last name made her heart pound as the realization of what Clovia just inundated started to become clear in her mind. Baby doll. Leo doesn't want her to get hurt. That's the reason why he did not tell her anything about her father's other family. Clovia sneered venomously. The fact that Leo didn't even bother to look at her while he was using endearment for Ida made her enraged. She is determined to make him hate Ida after hearing who she is. Your mother is a whore and a home wreck. She had an affair with my father and took advantage of his weak moments. You are the result of their nasty affair. You are a bastard. Your mother couldn't wait long enough to get rid of you. That's why she discarded you as just trash, and that's why my father doesn't want to acknowledge your presence, because you are a disgrace. Leo did not let her to finish her insulting Ida. Enough, he roared and raised his hand to slap her, but controlled the urge. Enough, he roared and raised his hand to slap her, but controlled the urge. Ida, on the other hand, is shocked into speechlessness. She doesn't know anything about her birth parents. When she had the urge, she couldn't find them. After learning that her father is alive and around somewhere, but he doesn't want to acknowledge her, she is heartbroken and decides not to disturb him. Even though she always wondered why he didn't want her, this was not the scenario she imagined. She became stiff. Clovia jumped with fear at the anger that displayed on Leo's face. She took a step back and away from him on instinct. Leo would have slapped Clovia if he could, but he is not the type of a man who would lay his hand on a woman. That's the only reason why Clovia was saved. But he is a cold bastard, and he didn't earn that name lightly. He has a way of instilling pain in his opponents, even without touching them. The fact that Clovia dared to hurt Ida is making him furious. He decided to force Clovia to taste her own medicine. Why are you angry with me? Are you regretting the fact that you choose her? You should express your anger on her, not on me. Clovia spoke defensively. Clearly she is scared now, but she is trying not to show it. Leo moved forward so that he was standing beside Ida. He wrapped his arm around her shoulder, showing that he still harbored the same feelings for Ida, despite Clovia's attempt to ruin Ida's reputation. Liar, he sneered with repulsion. Clovia froze with shock. The way he caught her lie is making her feel as if he knows what the truth is. This made her feel uneasy. Does he know something about Ida's mother? She thought, with a hint of panic. He didn't give her much time to dwell on her lie. Ida might not know that you are lying, but I do. I know many things that I am sure would break you, just like how you tried to hurt my Ida. He spoke with a smirk. The way he called Ida, his, possessiveness is ringing from his voice. Mike is shocked too. He didn't like Clovia one bit, and her berating Ida did not sit well with him either. Clovia became pale at his words. He is confident, and one can see that he means what he said. Ida looked at him with confusion. She doesn't know how he found out about all of this, and she is hopeful that what Clovia said about her mother might not be true. What do you mean? What I said is true, Clovia insisted. Leo snorted sarcastically. Calmly, he dialed Sean's number. Sean answered the call on the second ring. Morning, boss, he greeted jovially, clearly pleased to receive Leo's call. Morning, Sean. I want you to tell someone everything about Sarah and Richard, he demanded. Sean is quiet for a moment. Leo knows everything there is to know about Ida's parents, but still, he demands to know it all again. This must be something important, he thought. So without questioning Leo's question, he started reiterating Sarah and Richard's love story until Sarah met with an accident and how Richard ended up marrying Celine. Thank you, Sean. Leo disconnected the call. Ida is relieved, and Clovia is pale. How did they know almost everything about Ida's mother? Before long, they will find out that Sarah is the daughter of the infamous Walter Giovanni, and Ida is an heiress to his fortune. Ida should die before that happens. Clovia thought, so what? She is still a bastard. This time, Clovia couldn't finish that sentence. Ida slapped her hard across her face. Don't even think about calling me that again. I was born out of love. Disrespect my mother again, I will kill you. Ida intimidated Clovia. Clovia was not expecting to get slapped by Ida. She always thought that Ida was beneath her. She couldn't digest the fact that Ida dared to raise her hand on her. You, how dare you? Do you know who I am? Do you know who my grandfather is? You are gone. You all are. No one offends Walter Giovanni's granddaughter. Now you watch how I will ruin you. She seethed and pulled her mobile out and dialed Walter's number. Ida doesn't know who the man about whom Clovia is speaking about, but Mike does. He is panicking. His eyes are wide and he is sweating. Everyone in the business world knows about Walter Giovanni. Ida noticed his reaction and frowned deeply. She is not worried about herself. If she loses her life while defending her mother, she will gladly die. But she is worried about Leo. What if this man hurt Leo in his business, she thought worriedly, and looked at Leo with an apologetic look. But he is relaxed and cool. Not an ounce of fear is seen in his eyes. That assured her that he could handle this man too. Grandfather, a woman just slapped me for speaking the truth, Clovia cried into her mobile. On the other end, Walter is enraged to hear this. Clovia is his only granddaughter, and he loves her dearly. When he hears that someone offended her, he is not pleased. What? Who dared to hurt my granddaughter? Put the phone on speaker, he instructed her. Immediately, Clovia put her phone on speaker. Who dared to touch Walter Giovanni's granddaughter? Start counting your days. I will come and personally kill you. I will break every bone in your body before killing you. Walter's voice boomed from the speaker. Mike became pale. Ida looked disturbed too, until Leo spoke up. You know I am the expert on breaking bones. Since when did you start announcing that you are the best? Leo drawled lazily, all the while smirking smugly at Clovia. For a second, everyone was quiet. Pin-drop silence can be heard on the floor. Black? Is that you? Walter asked, this time his voice calm and curious. There is not even a single trace of anger left in his tone. Clovia gasped with shock. Her eyes bulged out of her sockets. Her mind is reeling with shock. She couldn't believe that the black star she was obsessed with was none other than Leo Hamilton, the same man who is now hugging Ida closely. She recalled Black Star's declaration back in Newark. She is mine. He pointed out a badly abused woman. Clovia gathered one and one together and understood that the woman was none other than Ida, and he saved her from Tony. You and her? She whispered brokenly. Seeing someone else with the man she loves is one thing, but looking at Ida is entirely on a different level. This hurts differently, and the pain is intense. Why? Why her? Why not me? She whispered. Why her? Why not me? Clovia questioned with desperation and pain. Leo shook his head at her question. Why her? Yes, why Ida? Intentionally, you came here to hurt her. You came to show off that your father chose you over her. You find happiness in other people's misery. You like to dictate other people's lives. You never cared about whose life you were crushing under your ego. But Ida is not like you. She goes out of her way to help people in need. She is always polite and never mistreats anyone. You have money, but she has a heart's worth of billions. In that department, she is far better than you. And let's not talk about how beautiful my baby doll looks. You must be a model, but she is an angel. I already told you that I would hurt you exactly like you wanted to hurt my baby doll. This is your punishment, knowing that I am the only man you couldn't have and the man who is head over heels for the same woman whom you feel like is beneath you. She is the future Mrs. Leo Hamilton. Leo clarified. Just then, Mike alerted the security guards who rushed to escort Clovia out of the property. I will ruin you, Ida. I will not allow you to be happy with the man I love. He will become mine, and you will be left heartbroken. Then I will laugh at your misery. Clovia sneered with bitterness. Miss, you have to come with us. One of the security guards caught Clovia's elbow, but she shook him off. No need. I know the way out, she snapped. With one last glare, she turned and left. After Clovia left, silence descended upon them. Mike understood that they needed some time alone, so he excused himself and left, leaving them alone. Ida is quiet after everything that transpired. Leo seems to know more about her parents than she does, and he didn't tell her. But how can she find fault in him when the truth about her father almost crushed her? The fact that her mother is no more would have crushed her even more. But nothing matters now. She has suffered enough to turn her heart cold. Clovia just pointed out the obvious. "You have been digging into my past," she commented. Deep down, she is feeling an ache, that he must be feeling that she is not enough for him. He is rich and she is an abandoned orphan. Leo felt guilty for hiding everything from her. He wanted to tell her what he found out, but he didn't want to hurt her. He saw how bad she felt when he told her about Richard. All of this would have only made her feel miserable. He hates to see tears in her eyes. Leo did not like the way she sounded, so detached and monotonous. He placed his hands on her shoulders and turned her to face him. She refused to meet his pleading gaze. "Ida, I didn't mean to hide it from you," he tried to explain, but she shook her head sadly. "It's all right. No need to explain. I can understand. I know you love me too. But I should have known that just love is not enough. I, of all people, know how much you value your family name. You are a Hamilton, and I am a nobody. It's wise to learn about where I come from before taking a step forward in our relationship." She spoke up, feeling bitter. "Maybe in another lifetime, when I am born into a good family, then I might be worthy of your love," she thought sadly. Leo's heart ached at her words. He cannot find fault with the way she is thinking. Her run-in with Clovia was not pleasant either. It sowed seeds of doubt in Ida. "Baby doll, don't talk like that. I value my family name, because it was earned by the hard work of my ancestors. I don't have a right to ruin it. And you, I am sure you would never bring a bad name to the Hamilton name. I started digging into your past because of your kidnapping. No one kidnaps anyone out of the blue. Everyone will have a reason. I wanted to find out why Tony kidnapped you. I found out Claire helped him, but he had another reason for taking you. I found out about your mother when I was digging into your kidnapping," he explained. Ida is quiet. She did not think about why she was kidnapped in the first place. She just assumed it was because Claire hated and she hired someone to do it, but she should have known it was more than Claire's hate. "I know your mother." She recollected Tony's words from that night. She was too scared and was in too much pain that day to dwell on what he said that night. All she wanted was for them to let her go. Apart from that, her fear paralyzed her thinking ability. "He said he knew my mother and something about me replacing her," she whispered in a daze. That caught his attention. "What?" he inquired. What she just said would throw much-needed light into her past. Ida met his gaze then. "I am sorry. My insecurities got the best of me, but I am still right. I don't make a good addition to the Hamilton family, and it looks like I have a lot of secrets in my past. It's better if we stop this right here and right now," she spoke softly. She knows that she is right. If this thing about them comes out, all hell will break loose on them. He will be criticized, and she will be blamed and named as a slut and a whore. Everyone will think that she earned this job by sleeping with him and not using her talent. She doesn't want to soil his reputation and lose her dignity. Leo froze with shock at her suggestion. "What? What do you mean by, let's end this? This is not a game to start whenever you feel like it and end when you feel scared. Do you know how much I love you? Do you?" he asked with displeasure. She looked away from his intense gaze. She knows how much he loves her. She knows it, and he proved it time and again. But in the world they live in, love is not enough. No one is immune to criticism. "I know how much you love me. I know it's not easy either. But think about it, Leo. What would happen if this news got out of this floor? What happens if Clovia decides to announce to the world that the famous President Hamilton is sleeping with his assistant? What would it do to your reputation? The family name you struggled to protect for this long will be ruined in an instant. Is that what you want?" she questioned him. Leo's face became a mask of agitation and disappointment. "Is this what you understand about me, Ida? Do you think I haven't considered all of this when I decided to confront Clovia and my nephew before that? I thought about this too. That's why I decided to announce to the world that you are my fiancé and we have been dating for a while before you started working for me. That will solve everything. How long are you planning this anyway? We have to tell everyone soon, so why not now? He disclosed his plan and once again proved that Leo Hamilton would never do anything before thinking. Ida was not expecting to hear this from him. She knows that he loves her, but she never thought about their marriage. It felt like a dream because of their stature. What? Are you crazy, Leo? Once you declare to the world that I am your fiancé, people will start digging into my personal life. They will find out that I am a bastard. I am not worried about the backlash I will face, but you have to face it too. They will criticize your choice. Your family name will be affected. This is insane. She pointed out the flaws in his plan. He pinched her chin and made her look at him. Why are you worrying about all of that? Less than a handful of people know about your parents. I know how to control them. Clovia and her mother will keep their mouths shut if Walter warns them about it. And Tony, he is hiding. The moment he comes out of hiding, either men or Walter's men will catch him. He will not risk his safety. And let's not talk about your cowardice, father. He will never admit that you are his daughter. Trust me, okay? I have this under control, he promised her. Ida is not sure about this. This is a risk, and she can see that. But Leo is blinded by his love for her. It's the love she has for him that is making her think about his well-being. Just think about this, Leo. She tried one last time. He shook his head. No, I made my decision. This evening I will announce to the media about our engagement. Don't fight me about this, he insisted. She agreed reluctantly. On the other hand, Clovia is not happy about what happened. She kept scrolling the pictures of Leo that she had on her phone. In every picture, he is wearing a mask. Now she knows the man behind that mask. The handsome man whom Ida stole from her. Ida Wilson, if you were not born, then Leo would have become mine. But you were born despite my mom's efforts to kill your mom. Now you snatched my man. How should I punish you, Ida? You have everything I want. You are the heir of my grandfather's fortune. My dad seems to love you despite just finding out about you. And my black? He is worshiping you like you are an angel. You cannot have everything that I need and want. Everything you have is rightfully mine. You should be gone. I know it's not easy with Leo around you. He will not let anything happen to you. First, I have to make him throw you out of his life. Then I will kill you and get rid of you forever, she thought with anger. Immediately she dialed Tony's number. Clovia, how did it go? Did you find anything about Black? Did you meet Ida? He inquired. It's bad, Tony. Really bad. She explained everything that happened in Leo's company, leaving Tony shocked. What? Black Star is actually Leo Hamilton? I never saw this one coming. No wonder he came to protect his lady love the moment I kidnapped her. Tony muttered with displeasure. He is scared of Black Star, the infamous boxer who cannot be defeated by anyone. Clovia, this changes everything. You know that even I cannot fight against him. Let's not risk our lives. Let's leave this place, he suggested with fear. He knows very well that going against him is equal to inviting your death. And he is not a fool. But Clovia is too angry to listen and understand that. She wants Leo, and that's all she is bothered about. Don't speak like a coward. My mom will kill you if you don't help me, she snapped, much to his annoyance. Celine might not directly kill him, but she can hire her father's men to do that. Fine, what do you want me to do? He asked grudgingly. Clovia smirked. How she wishes to bend Leo against his will, just like Tony. But it would take time. When the time comes, she would relish it. Here is the plan. She explained what she wanted him to do. Tony frowned, but agreed to do as he was told to do. In a hospital in the capital, Kevin is lying down on the hospital bed with his hands and legs wrapped up in gauge and casts. He suffered from multiple fractures. Now he is thoroughly terrified of his uncle. The name Leo is enough to make him terrified out of his mind. Leo pummeled him into a pulp, and Kevin barely survived the beatings. Now he is alive, but unable to do anything on his own. Ida's face flashed in his mind. He is feeling bitter. He had his chance with her, but he ruined it all because of Claire. Now she landed in his uncle's lap. Leo is not an idiot like Kevin to push her away. He catches her with both hands and cherishes her. Kevin is jealous. He wants Ida, but he is terrified to do anything about it. "Mr. Kevin, you have a visitor." The male nurse who has been assigned to Kevin is standing near the threshold while looking expectantly at Kevin. The nurse is not at all polite to Kevin given his status as a Hamilton. The nurse barely tolerated him, but Kevin has no other option but to rely on this nurse, because his uncle cut off his connections with the world. He cannot contact anyone, and no one even knows that Kevin is hospitalized, so Kevin is surprised to hear that he has a visitor. "Bring them in," he told the nurse, rather mildly. The nurse nodded at someone who was already standing outside to come in. "You have 5 minutes," the nurse told before closing the door after a bulky stranger who looked like he was a goon entered his room. "Hello, Kevin," the stranger greeted. Kevin is confused. He never saw this man before, but this man seems to know who Kevin is. "Who are you?" Kevin asked suspiciously. He is sure his uncle would not hire anyone to kill him because Leo prefers to do it himself if Kevin irked him. Tony smiled confidently. "I am Tony. You don't know who I am, but I know everything about you. I bribed that nurse to enter your ward. Your uncle made sure that no one should enter your room, and you are not supposed to speak with anyone. Looks like he is punishing you for being naughty." Tony smirked. Kevin looked mortified and angry with Leo. "What do you want?" he asked, changing the subject. Tony pulled a chair to Kevin's bedside and made himself comfortable. "I want your help," he came to the point. Kevin became curious. "My help? With what?" he inquired. Tony leaned forward and pulled Ida and Leo's pictures from his pocket. He laid them down in front of Kevin. I know Ida Wilson is your ex. I know you are still hung up on her, but now she is dating Leo Hamilton. I will help you with Ida if you help me with Leo Hamilton," Tony suggested. Tony is fooling Kevin. He knows that Ida's life will end the moment she is away from Leo, but he will never tell that to Kevin because he would never help to hurt Ida. Kevin frowned. "Who is this guy? What is his vendetta with my uncle?" Kevin thought. Tony saw the wheels turning in Kevin's head, so he started to convince Kevin to help them. "Leo Hamilton and I had a very old rivalry. He killed my mother. I want to kill him too, so I need your help," he bluffed. Kevin turned pale. He out of all people knows that it's impossible to kill his uncle. The concept of killing his uncle is scary. He doesn't like Leo, but not to the point of killing him. Tony noticed the reluctance on Kevin's face, so he pressed. "Kevin, think about it. If we kill Leo Hamilton, you will be the sole heir of the Hamilton Empire. Ida will be yours, and there will not be anyone else who would scare you. You will be called President Hamilton, and you will receive all the respect and power that Leo is enjoying now. Imagine yourself in your uncle's role. Don't you want that power?" Tony is giving false hope to Kevin. He is showing an impossible picture. But Kevin doesn't know that Tony is lying. He is an idiot and a fool, just like Leo says that he is. So he started imagining himself in Leo's role. He imagined himself walking inside the Hamilton group with arrogance and everyone else bowing in front of him. He saw Ida flattering him. He liked that image. "What kind of help do you want from me?" he asked eagerly. Tony smirked with triumph. "First, let's start with creating differences between Leo and Ida. When they fight and argue, it will be easy for you to woo her back. After that, we can kill Leo and make it look like a suicide because of a heartache." He lied in the last part. Kevin, being Kevin, believed it all. "Okay, I will help you. What do you want me to do first?" Kevin asked eagerly. Tony smirked with triumph. "That was easier than I thought it would be," he thought. "In the same city, in an old maternity hospital. Ida Wilson, that's the name of the baby I left here 22 years ago. Can you please tell me where she was taken from here?" Sarah asked the receptionist expectantly. The receptionist gave Sarah a weird look. 22 years ago? "Ma'am, I am afraid we don't save the files of the patients for that long. The system will automatically erase old files to make room for new ones. We are sorry," the receptionist replied, not at all looking like she was sorry. Sarah is heartbroken. Tears welled in her eyes with hopelessness. "What can we do, Nancy? How to find my daughter?" she whispered sadly. An old nurse who is in her late 50s saw the entire scene. Coincidentally, she has been working in the hospital for 25 years now, so she decided to help Sarah. "Dear, don't worry. Come with me." The nurse coaxed Sarah and Nancy away from the reception desk and made them sit in the waiting area. "I am not sure where your daughter is now, but I remember an incident many years ago when a newborn baby was left behind. We handed her over to the social service department. I think they took the baby to an orphanage. Here, this is the address of the orphanage and the number of the social service department. You can try there. She wrote down the address and number of the concerned people in area. Sarah and Nancy thanked her before leaving. In Newark, "Boss, you have to come and see this." Sid urged Walter to watch a live telecast on TV. Walter ignored Sid and took a pleasure sip of alcohol from his glass. Sid sighed heavily. "Boss, it's about that famous businessman, Leo Hamilton. He is announcing his engagement date today. The face of his fiancé will be revealed now. You seldom follow news about that young businessman. I thought you would want to see this too," Sid explained patiently. When Walter heard Leo's name, he perked up. He likes Leo very much, both as the famous businessman and as the boxer Black Star. It must be the same woman whom he rescued from Tony last week. He is not wasting time. Young love," Walter thought out loud with excitement. He hurried to the living area to take a look at Leo's fiancée. He saw Leo's face on the huge screen, and he was talking by the time Walter came. "Turn up the volume," Walter instructed Sid and made himself comfortable on the couch. "Good evening, everyone. I am here today to announce my engagement with the woman who stole my heart. We have been dating for a while now. We both decided that it was time to take our relationship to the next level. I warmly welcome Ida Wilson, the love of my life," Leo announced confidently. Ida's nervous but beautiful face flashed on the screen. Grace was escorting her to the stage. Ida was wearing a navy blue knee-length dress, and her hair was falling in waves behind her back. Leo extended his hand, and she took it without hesitation. Everyone cheered and clapped. Leo shared some mundane details about Ida to suppress the curiosity of the media. But Walter is not listening to anything. His head is spinning, and he is feeling as if he is watching the ghost of his dead daughter. "Sarah," he whispered with shock. He is sure that Ida is his granddaughter. He doesn't know how it happened, but his daughter gave birth to a daughter. He stood up on unsteady feet and approached the TV screen. Gently, he touched Ida's face as tears started to roll down his cheeks. Sid is confused to see the weird behavior of his boss. "Boss, what happened?" he inquired with a frown. Sid rushed to catch Walter, who was about to collapse on the floor. "Boss, are you all right?" he asked with alarm. Walter is in a daze. He kept looking at Ida without blinking. He couldn't take his eyes off of her. He is overwhelmed with emotions. The daughter he thought he lost has a daughter. He is both happy by this knowledge and deeply saddened by the fact that he was not a part of her life for this long. "Boss, guards, call for a doctor." Sid is scared. His boss is staring at the screen like a statue. No response and nothing from that man. Immediately, a couple of guards rushed toward their boss and carried him back to his room. In the capital, Ida is feeling nervous. Immediately after their engagement was announced, she became an overnight celebrity. Her face is flashing in every news channel and media outlet that is available in the country. Her mobile is bombarded with calls and messages from people whom she doesn't even know. She had to turn her mobile off just to save her mobile from overheating. Just like she expected, the media started digging into her family and past. And just like Leo promised, he erased everything that would soil her reputation. Everyone only reached to one conclusion, that she is an orphan who lost both her parents at a young age to an accident. Hence she received immense pity and respect for how she educated herself despite the odds. In the end, everyone showered her with love and respect. "I told you, I would take care of everything for you. You did not believe me." Leo walked from behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist before resting his chin on her shoulder. He can see their reflection on the floor-to-ceiling glass wall that covers a portion of the living area in his penthouse. Ida smiled softly. She wrapped her arms over his and leaned back into him. "It's not that I don't trust you. I do trust you a lot, but I don't trust my fate. Fate was never fair to me, so I was worried that my fate would ruin this for me too," she whispered. He tightened his arms protectively. "I will fight everything for you, Ida, even your fate. I will not let anyone or anything ruin this for us. I wiped away all the traces of your past from the system. No one will ever find out who you are," he assured her. Ida sighed, feeling stressed. Everything is so overwhelming. Until a day ago, very few people knew about Ida Wilson, but now the entire world knows about me. This is all so new and stressful, so much attention that my every move will be scrutinized. She shared what she was feeling. Gently, he turned her to face him. Are you not happy? Do you regret this? He asked, trying to find out if she didn't like this new development in her life. Being under the lens, the moment you step out of your home can be stressful, especially for people who are not used to it. He can understand how she must be feeling. Ida wrapped her arms around his neck and smiled gently. No, I don't regret this. If this is the price I have to pay to stay in your life, I will gladly accept it. You are the only good thing that happened in my life. How can I ever regret that? I am just feeling out of place. As if I am Cinderella in that ball when she met her prince, she said softly. Leo pulled her closer to his body and leaned in and nuzzled her neck. Prince misplaced his Cinderella after that ball and had to struggle to find her again. But I will never misplace you, because I am not a prince. I am the king of your heart, he declared, sounding very proud of his achievement. She giggled, but that sound was replaced with a moan when he bit the sensitive flesh between her shoulder and neck. She giggled, but that sound was replaced with a moan when he bit the sensitive flesh between her shoulder and neck. Leo, she whimpered when he started assaulting her with kisses. It's not enough. She is yearning for more. Her body is turning hot and needy, but he is just kissing her neck and nipping the skin there and not going any further. Ask me what you want, baby doll, he suggested. Her small, soft hands are roaming all over his body, feeling the hard ridges of his muscles. You know what I want, she whispered breathily. He does, but he wants her to ask. Her breathing hitched in her throat. She is too shy to put it into words. He knows that, but still he is insisting upon it. She knows why. He wants to break the barriers of her reservations when she is with him. Leo, please, she begged. She lost all the sense of shame. Her mind is hazy with need. Her core is aching, and he is playing dirty. As you wish, baby doll, he replied. The soft sounds that she is making are his undoing. She is so sexy and hot with her lips parted, eyes half-masked, and she is flushed. She is wearing the same blue dress that she wore for their engagement announcement. He unzipped her dress from behind and pushed it past her shoulders with both hands. The dress stopped around the waist for a moment before falling down and pooling around her ankles, leaving her upper body bare to his eyes. He ravaged her lips as if he was a beast and she was his prey. Her legs threatened to unbuckle underneath her. But he caught her before falling. He carried her to their room, directly to the bathroom. She was so tired that she just stood under the warm sprays while he washed her thoroughly before washing himself. After drying their wet bodies, he carried her to bed. She is now lying under the covers beside him, without a stitch of clothing. She is feeling so drowsy that she doesn't immediately recognize the expensive metal that he slid onto her ring finger. When she felt the cold, heavy stone on her finger, she blinked her eyes open and noticed a blue diamond ring sitting there. There is a huge blue stone sitting in the middle, surrounded by several smaller white ones. It looks beautiful. Wow, she whispered with awe. You like it? He asked softly. She lifted her head from his chest and looked at him with amusement. You are supposed to propose to me on one knee before this part, she pointed out. He chuckled softly, but his eyes are intense. I can't bear to even imagine you telling no. I have all the time in the world to make you say yes. She smiled at him softly. Is it? Then you should start right away, she said shyly. That's all it took from her. In the next second, she was flipped onto her back. Right, I should not waste any time, he whispered before kissing her softly. He took her in every possible angle possible until she passed away from exertion and a satiated smile on her face. Sorry, ma'am, we can't find any details of the baby you are asking about. There is no baby girl registered here under the name of Ida Wilson, the social worker told Sarah apologetically. Sarah and Nancy were very hopeful that they would find Ida's whereabouts from the social worker whose address the nurse in the hospital gave them. But after coming here, the response they received was very disappointing. Nancy, how can we find my daughter now? Sarah asked sadly. Nancy is dying inside with guilt. If not for her, Sarah would have been happy with her daughter. I am so sorry, Sarah. All of this is because of me. Please forgive me, she apologized sincerely. Sarah shook her head. No, don't say that, Nancy. No one is at fault here. Our situation was like that. I will forever be thankful to you for saving my life. I am sure I will find my daughter soon. Let's go and inquire in the orphanage that the nurse told us about, Sarah suggested. Nancy nodded, and both the women made their way to the orphanage. In Newark, Walter recovered from the shock of seeing his granddaughter. There is no doubt in his mind about who Ida is. He is 100% sure that she is his granddaughter. Ida not only looks like Sarah, but she also inherited the same skin tone as her grandmother, and her eyes. Those eyes are inherited from his wife. I have a granddaughter. Then where is Sarah? Who is Ida's father? He thought out loud as confusion and anxiety plagued his mind. His voice alerted Sid, who was dozing off beside him. Boss? You are awake. How are you feeling now? What happened to you? Sid inquired with concern. Walter did not listen to a word Sid was saying. His mind is fixed on Ida and the possibility of his daughter being alive. He picked up his mobile from the nightstand and immediately dialed Leo's number. Walter promised never to call Leo. But in this situation, only Leo can help him. He might know about Ida's parents. The mobile started ringing on the other end. Leo picked up the call on the 6th ring as if he had half a mind not to answer the call. Walter, this better be important. I already told you not to call me on this number. First Clovia, and now you. What the hell? The hell is wrong with you all? Leo growled with displeasure. Leo is lying beside Ida, and it's still early in the capital. He doesn't want to be disturbed when he is with her. If it was not Walter, he would have ignored the call. Leo, your fiancé, Ida, what is her mother's name? Walter asked, confusing Leo. Leo frowned. Something in Walter's voice and his question made Leo feel like this was important. He slowly untangled himself from Ida, who was sleeping peacefully beside him. He pulled up a track pant before walking out of the room so that she would not be disturbed. Leo, you there? Walter asked. Leo sighed. I am here. You tell me why you are suddenly interested in my fiancé's family history? Leo inquired. Walter couldn't explain why. He is overwhelmed with emotions, so he sent an old picture of his daughter which he saved on his mobile. Look at that picture, Leo, and tell me if she is the woman who gave birth to Ida, he pleaded. Leo's frown deepened. He never heard of this much desperation in Walter's voice before. He opens his chat box and is shocked to find Sarah's picture. Walter, do you know about this woman? I am searching for her. What do you know about her? Who are her parents? He bombarded Walter with questions of his own. Walter is stunned for a moment because Leo seems to know Sarah. As far as Walter remembered, he never shared anything about Sarah with Leo. Only Celine, Richard, Clovia, and Tony know about her. No one talks about her because they all know he is still hurting, so he is stunned to learn that Leo knows about his daughter. She is my daughter, and most probably Ida's mother. That means Ida is my granddaughter, he revealed. Out of everything Leo was expecting, this was not the case. He is stunned into silence. He was searching was Ida's details to find out why Tony kidnapped her and what connection he had with Sarah. Now the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. If Sarah is your daughter, then how did Richard end up Celine? Your other daughter? He is Ida's father. And why the hell did Tony kidnap Ida? I am sure he must have known that Sarah is your daughter and Ida is your granddaughter. Then why did he kidnap Ida? What the hell is happening around you, Walter? Is he trying to get back on you for something by hurting Ida? If that's the case, then why didn't he kidnap Clovia? Why did he specifically come after Ida? Nothing is making any sense. Leo muttered absently. Until that moment, Walter doesn't know that Sarah and Richard were together before Sarah's accident. He is furious. And the other thing that pissed him off is Tony. He clearly remembers how Leo carried a very abused Ida inside the mansion after she brought him back. That made him mad. How dare he? That piece of shit. Did he dare to kidnap Walter Giovanni's granddaughter? He is dead meat, he thundered. Leo ignored Walter's outburst. He is already searching for Tony. Sean has his men searching for him all over the capital. His mind is spinning after he finds out that Sarah is Walter's daughter and Richard married Sarah's sister after Sarah disappeared. That asshole knows that Sarah is Walter's daughter, but still, he lied to me, claiming that he didn't know much about Sarah's family. That fox is going to get punished for hiding this from me. Leo thought angrily. In Newark, Celine is furious. Ida's face is splashed in every news article in the country, and every news channel is telecasting the same thing from the last 12 hours. Oh God, what if my dad sees this? What if he concludes that Ida is Sarah's daughter? Everything I did to avoid this day would be for naught, she thought with anger and frustration. Just then she saw her husband Richard walking out of his room, ready to go to work. He is dressed in a suit, unaware of the fact that his daughter is a celebrity now. When Celine saw how unaffected and calm her husband looked, she did not like it one bit. She became furious. You don't have to bother going to work anymore. Soon we will all be thrown out of this home and we will become homeless and penniless, she snapped at him with venom. Richard gave her an irritated look. He all but ignores her tantrums most of the time. So he ignored her snappy attitude and walked past her. Celine never liked to be ignored, but Richard always ignores her, much to her irritation. Can't you hear what I am trying to tell you? You don't have to go to work, she yelled, pouring all of her frustration into her voice. Richard stopped and slowly turned to face her. He glared at her. What do you want now? Is it not enough that you destroyed my life? You blackmailed me and married me when you were already pregnant with a baby. I announced to the world that she is my daughter while my own da. He stopped abruptly. He doesn't want anyone to find out about Ida. He knows how cruel Celine is and she can hard his daughter for his selfish needs. But it's too late. He doesn't know that Celine already knows about Ida. When he stopped suddenly, Celine smirked cruelly. Why don't you finish that sentence? You are living in this prison with a wife whom you never wanted and a daughter who is not yours. When your own daughter is out there, living as an orphan? Is that what you wanted to tell me? Is it, Richard? She asked with a sneer. Richard became pale. What daughter? Sarah died long ago. How can we have a daughter together? He immediately backtracked. Celine sneered. She picked up the TV remote and increased the volume so that he could hear that the entire world knew about his daughter now. Leo Hamilton surprised everyone when he decided to marry Ida Wilson, who apparently lost her parents in an accident when she was young. The beautiful young lady is well educated and is currently working as an assistant to none other than Mr. Leo Hamilton. Her serene face and breathtaking smile can make anyone fall in love with her. The news reporter said. Richard's attention was caught when Ida's name was spoken. He became pale. He wanted to hide Ida's presence to protect her from Celine and Tony, but the entire world knows about her. He is worried that her safety will be in jeopardy now. She looks like Sarah, isn't it, Richard? Celine mocked. Richard is too shocked to speak anything. He is only thinking about Ida's safety until Leo's face pops on the TV screen beside Ida. The love and tenderness in Leo's eyes for Ida are unmistakable. A slow smile spread across his lips. Yes, she looks like Sarah, he agreed proudly. Celine did not like the look on his face. She thought he would be scared and beg her not to kill his precious daughter, but instead he's looking happy for some reason. I will make you beg me for mercy. Let's see how long you will be smiling, she thought with venom. Then it's time to send her to the same place where I sent her mother. Don't you think? Celine said with an evil smirk. She is indicating that she will kill Ida too. Richard laughed out loud and shook his head. Celine, you can try, but I am sure you will not win this time. Sarah was not prepared to see the vicious side of you when she did, and even I failed to protect her. Ida might look like Sarah, but she is not Sarah, and she has Leo Hamilton as her protector. You can try, but you cannot be able to touch Ida, because he is no Richard Wilson. He is the most powerful and rich man in the world. He is Leo Hamilton. I don't have to worry about my daughter. In fact, you should worry about yourself now. Let's see what would happen if Walter Giovanni finds out that it's you who killed my Sarah. Your fate will be miserable, he said with a sneer before walking away. Celine is enraged by his words. She smashed anything and everything she could touch. Ah! She screeched with anger. She threw a vase onto the TV screen. It broke into pieces. Ida, just like this TV, I will break your fate too. Your father seems to be confident about the fact that your boyfriend would save you. But when Celine sets her target, she never misses. And you are not different either. You will die, and your father's pride will break as well. And my daughter will become the sole heir of this fortune, she screamed like a lunatic. In the capital, Sarah and Nancy did not seem to have much luck in finding Ida even in the orphanage. When Leo meant that he wiped away all traces of Ida from the system, he really meant it. He wiped every single trace of Ida that could lead them to her past. Now Ida Wilson doesn't exist in the system anywhere. What is this, Nancy? Why can't anyone tell me where my daughter is? I am scared. I am scared about her safety. I am feeling hopeless. Is she even alive? Sarah asked with tears streaming down her wrinkled cheeks. Is she even alive? Sarah asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. Despite just being in her early 40s, she looks older than herself. Her vegetative state made her look like an older woman. Nancy hugged Sarah in pain. No, Sarah, my dear, don't say that kind of words. I am sure she will be safe somewhere. I am sure of it. Please don't lose hope, she assured. But deep down, Nancy is conflicted. She doesn't know what to do and how to find Ida. Safe? I don't know, Nancy. What if the same people who tried to kill me found her? What if they somehow... Sarah couldn't finish her sentence. It's too painful for her to even think about anything happening to her daughter. Her heart feels as if someone stabbed that organ and it is bleeding. The pain is unbearable. Sobs of pain rocked her fragile frame. Nancy couldn't see her in this state. She is determined to do something to help Sarah. That's when Walter's face flashed in her mind. Sarah, my dear, I know you don't want me to contact your father because you feel that someone around him is intentionally targeting you, and you are suspecting that it might be Tony or Celine. But my dear, just think about this for a moment. Only your father has the power to find your daughter faster. If you call him personally and explain to him about everything that happened to you all those years ago, I am sure he would do anything to help you. Why don't you consider this idea? Now only he can help you. Only he can save your daughter from every danger around her, Nancy suggested. Sarah became pale when Nancy mentioned her father. She is sure he would be furious once he finds out about her pregnancy and the man responsible for it. Nancy, you know how my father is. If he finds out that I gave birth to a daughter and about Richard, he will be furious. He might try to hurt my daughter in anger. I can't take those chances. Sarah shared her fear. Nancy is worried. Dear, think about how much your father used to love you. I saw how the news of your death destroyed him. He was an unreasonable man once, but after you left, he became a shell of himself. I saw him begging the Almighty to give his daughter back. I am sure he would be really happy to learn that you are alive. He would do anything for you. Why don't you just try talking to him once? Moreover, we are at a dead end now. But we don't have proper contacts or money to search for Ida. It's not easy for us to find her on our own. It's your decision now. If you seek your father's help, you might get to spend some time with your daughter. If you decide that we should not involve him, then don't forget that it might take us years or forever to find your daughter. I can only suggest you. The decision is yours now, she coaxed Sarah. In the same city, in the tallest building of the capital, Ida is sleeping peacefully on the top floor of the said building. Leo is lying beside her while looking at her with love. His call with Walter gave him the much-needed insight into the details of Ida's mother. He learned that there is much more to Sarah's death than he initially thought. That is, she is really dead. Something is telling him that she must be still alive somewhere. He told Walter that much. Walter is determined to search and find his daughter at all costs if she is alive. He decided to start his search at the hospital where she gave birth to Ida. Walter was also very eager to meet his granddaughter. But Leo doesn't want to make Ida uncomfortable by his sudden arrival. He wanted to first tell her about her grandfather, and when she was ready, only then he would allow Walter or anyone to meet her. She already suffered too much emotional turmoil, so he doesn't want to subject her to more of it. She is still sleeping in his bed. It's 9 a.m. on a working day. She would have never slept this late if he had not exhausted her body last night. He did not remember when they fell asleep. Lazily, he traced patterns over her delicate-looking spine. "Leo," she mumbled sleepily. A smile appeared on his lips. He leaned down and peppered her back with feather-light kisses. He is lying sideways beside her, supporting his head over his palm. She shivered at his kisses and goosebumps appeared on her skin. Slowly, she turned her body closer to his, with her eyes still closed. In the capital, Clovia is furious. She kept looking at Ida and Leo, whose footage was playing again and again on the TV screen. Her fingernails are digging into her palms with the force that she is clenching her fists. She is furious. The fact that Leo publicly announced Ida as his fiancé is like a slap to her face. She couldn't forget how much she was vying for his attention, but he ignored her only to shower Ida with his affection and undying love. Why? Why did you choose her over me? We have known each other for years, but you have known her for mere months. Then why? What do I lack that she has? You said that she has a good heart and she is more beautiful than anyone else. I would have behaved too. All you had to do was tell me. I would have done anything for you. But you never did. I can't bear to see her beside you. I just cannot. I always wanted you. No, craved you like a drug. Now when you find someone else to occupy the place that was meant for me, I simply cannot accept it and move on. You can only belong to me. That bitch cannot get everything that was meant for me. Clovia thought venomously. There is a hysterical glint in her eyes. She is tethering on the verge of losing her mind. She lost her composure. She is looking like hell. Tony, who was watching Clovia closely, started to get worried. She's even scaring him. From the moment Leo announced Ida as his fiancée, all Clovia did was sit in front of the TV and watch them together. She refused to eat, sleep, or even allow him to turn the TV off. She has dark circles marring around her eyes, and she has not even taken a bath since the day before. Just then, his mobile began to ring, indicating an incoming call from Celine. Quickly, he walked out of the room to answer the call. Now what is it, Celine? If you called to inform me about Leo and Ida's engagement, then save your breath. I already saw that on the news. It's literally everywhere. He snapped with irritation. He is forced to deal with the insanity of Clovia, and he is not in the mood to deal with Celine as well. Celine is taken aback by his outburst. She called to inform him about the same thing. What crawled up your ass this morning? If anyone should be angry and frustrated, then it should be me. Why are you snapping and yelling like that? She snapped right back. Tony gritted his teeth and massaged his temples. He is regretting his decision to get involved with Celine in the first place. And their affair continued even after she married Richard. Look, dealing with the craziness of your daughter is the only thing I can tolerate today. Now don't irritate me more. If you do, then I will quit and you can hire someone else to deal with Ida, he muttered with annoyance. Celine frowned on the other end. What do you mean by the craziness of my daughter? What happened to Clovia? Celine inquired worriedly. Tony looked at the now closed door of Clovia's bedroom. He is standing in the living area of the ensuite, where Clovia is staying for the time being. She is acting weirdly. All she has been doing since yesterday is watching. He explained the situation at hand. Celine is worried now. Why is she so affected by this news? We will kill Ida sooner or later. Why is she so angry? Celine asked with confusion. Tony sighed. They didn't tell Celine about Clovia's failed attempt to taunt and hurt Ida. It backfired and Clovia ended up getting hurt instead. Clovia met Ida the other day. He explained the reason why Leo might have decided to announce Ida as his fiancée so suddenly. If not for Clovia, he wouldn't have done that. Celine became angry when she heard about the mess her daughter created. Stupid girl. She always acts on impulse rather than thinking before acting. Now see where it landed us. We tried to hide Ida's identity from my father, but you both ruined all of my efforts. Now he found out about her existence and is throwing a party in her honor. Leo Hamilton and Ida are attending this party tomorrow. He might not announce that she is his granddaughter. He already transferred everything from Sarah's name to Ida's name. Now Ida is an heiress. I sent you there to kill her, but instead you both messed up everything. I don't know how you would do it, but bring Clovia back to Newark by evening. Celine snapped. She would have even attempted to kill Tony if he was standing in front of her. Tony gritted his teeth with anger. What do you mean by bringing her back, Newark? You know your father and Leo Hamilton are searching for me, right? How do you expect me to come there on a commercial flight? I have been trying to move her away from that damn TV, but she is ignoring me as I am nothing. You know what, Celine? I am done here. I no longer want to be a part of this. Your plan was for me to get rid of Ida, and I would have if this didn't have blown out of proportion. So much so that now I cannot control it, and I cannot babysit your daughter as well. Why don't you give a call to your so-called husband and ask him to take care of Clovia?" he snapped, finally feeling that he had bitten more than he could chew, and now he was regretting it all. Celine is quiet for a moment before speaking. "Clovia is not Richard's daughter. She is yours." "I never had a physical relationship with Richard. He refused to touch anyone but Sarah." "She is our daughter, Tony," she revealed, shocking him into speechlessness. To say that Ida is nervous would be an understatement. She is now sitting in a black, expensive car, which is parked outside the Giovanni mansion in Newark. She is dressed in a red dress that hugs her frame to her waist before flaring down to her hips and reaching to her knees. The dress has a sweetheart neckline with intricate patterns adorning the bodice. She is wearing silver sandals that complement the dress. Leo thinks that she is looking hot, and she believes him. They came here to attend a party that had been hosted in her honor. When she learned from Leo that she has a grandfather, she went blank. She doesn't know how to react, especially after how she started to feel after her father refused to acknowledge her. Her mind traveled back to the conversation she had with Leo the previous day. "My grandfather? Where was he all these days? Why did he suddenly want to reconcile with me now? Everyone abandoned me for this long. Now when I am about to start a fresh chapter in my life, suddenly a man popped up claiming that he is my grandfather. My father entered my life and brought chaos along with him, only to abandon me. Now another person. I don't want anyone but you in my life, Leo. Please tell him not to bother," she said bitterly. Leo hugged her and asked her to give Walter one single chance. He told her that even Walter was a victim of circumstances and it was time to give him a chance. He convinced her to attend this party and promised to take her back home whenever she started feeling uncomfortable. So she agreed reluctantly. Now, sitting right outside the mansion where an old man is eagerly waiting for her near the entrance, she doesn't know how to react. He looked genuinely eager to meet her. From the safety of inside the tinted car window, she observed him keenly. Unlike in the photos of him that she saw on the internet, he is wearing a casual shirt combined with black slacks. He is looking simple with a warm, welcoming smile gracing his lips. In every picture she saw of him, he looked cold and scary. But the man standing near the entrance looks completely different. He looks like an eager grandparent who is ready to pamper his grandchildren. "Are you ready?" Leo asked from beside her. Ida turned to face him and gave him a small nod. She is not ready. She will never be. But it's better to get it done with than drag this more than necessary. She took a deep breath before Leo exited the car and opened her door before offering his hand for her to take. She accepted it willingly. Walter is overwhelmed with joy. Even though this is not the first time he has seen Ida, this is still the first time that he is looking at her properly. The first time when he saw her, she was badly bruised and her face was unrecognizable. The second time, he saw her on the TV screen. Now the third time, he got to see her in the flesh. His knees threatened to buckle underneath him with his overwhelming emotions. His eyes teared up, obscuring his vision. He blinked repeatedly to clear his eyes. And when he did, for a split second, he felt like he was watching his daughter Sarah instead of Ida. "Sarah," he whispered sadly. "Boss?" Sid's voice penetrated the fog inside his mind, and he noticed Ida and Leo walking closer to where he was standing. "I am really happy that you agreed to come here today," he expressed his joy with a big smile. Ida is taken aback by the genuine words of the man who is her grandfather. His eyes are tender and full of love. The only two people in whom she saw this kind of true love are Leo and Grace. Only they both showered her with this kind of love. Now, experiencing the same love from a man who is almost a stranger is confusing, but at the same time comforting. She relaxed a little, knowing that this man truly wanted her here, without any ulterior motive. "Thank you for hosting this party, Mr. Giovanni," she responded politely. A sad smile appeared on Walter's lips. Gently, he patted her head. She noticed that his hand was shaking slightly. He was supposed to be a mobster. She was expecting him to be cruel and cold. She assumed that this party must be some trick to get some favor from Leo, but to see this side of him is surprising. I know I am a stranger to you, my dear. I would do anything to change that. If I could, I would change the time and go back to the past and would like to raise you myself, but I can't. I promise to be there for you in the future, as a parent and a guardian. I might be Mr. Giovanni to others, but for you, I am your grandfather. Can you please try to call me that in the future? He requested. She felt bad that she made him this sad. The mist in the eyes of this big man is making her feel bad, but it was not her intention to hurt him. Sure, she replied softly. After that, Walter ushered Ida and Leo inside. He personally served Ida and was always by her side. Even though she was introduced as Leo's fiancé, he was still showering her with parental love. A few times, Ida wondered that it must be how parents pamper their kids, just like how Walter is pampering her. He is gently pointing out who is who and gently introducing her to the upper-class society. Leo was also always by her side, but he was quiet. He is allowing Walter to have his time with his granddaughter. Leo's hand on her lower back is both assuring and comforting in this otherwise unfamiliar environment. Everything was going smoothly, and Ida started to relax. Nothing about this evening made her foresee the upcoming disaster until Clovia walked in.